Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Journey to Tech with Craig. Today, we're going to continue our Python series by exploring data types. What are some examples of data types? We capture a lot of data in this world, and it can be grouped into types such as text, such as full sentences or single letters. They can also be numeric, in this case, numbers such as integers or whole numbers, decimals, and fractions, you name it. You can also have data types that are a collection of several types of data. For example, lists, sets, tuples. We're going to explore this more in our program, so stay tuned and follow me.
Let's start by talking about numeric data types. There are several numeric data types in Python. I'm gonna cover two popular ones today, which are int and float. Int represents integers or whole numbers, so numbers such as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. While float represents decimals, for example 24.2, 60.5, 1.3, etc. So floats are decimals with anything after the point sign. So let us explore it a little bit more. I'm going to put a comment here, which is numeric data types, just to describe what we're talking about. I'm going to put int, and I put in brackets here integers or whole numbers. Shift enter, and let's say we have a variable called x and we put the number 5, which is a whole number. If we ask Python what is the data type of this variable by using print, in other words show it to the screen, and then we say type x, it shows that it is an int or an integer here. Let's say we want to look at decimal numbers, so numeric data types, float, and I'll put in brackets decimals. And we assign a decimal to the value y, to the variable y rather. And let's say we want to call it 7.5. Shift enter, and we want to find out the data type of this variable. Class float, in other words, it is a decimal. So those are two popular types of numeric data that can be used in Python, and you'll find that as you program, you might be using this a lot. Let's look at the string data type. So this section, I'm going to title it text data types, and it would be str or strings or text. Strings are used to represent text data types. An example of this would include something like, let's say name is equal to Timothy. That's a text, so it's a string. Now if we look at the type by saying print type name, press the arrow, it shows that it is a class string. In other words, it's a text data type. Okay, so that is several letters. What about a single letter? Let us say okay, how about this? Active, and you have two values, yes or no. and we say it is equal to y. If we do the same thing here, type active, it is still represented as a string data type in Python, even though it is a single letter. But if you have this, let's have a variable called surname, and instead of using double quotes, we use single quotes. And let's say the surname is Smith. Looking at the data type, looks like we got an error here. Let's see what it is. It says name surname is not defined. What could be wrong here? Let's take a look. Oh, I can see here. I initially spelt the surname as S-U-R-N-M-A-E when I should have spelt it as S-U-R-N-A-M-E. But because it is defined, the variable is defined as this, and now I put this, it is not going to find it because according to the system, that variable is not defined. So let us use this name up here. And see if we get back something. And yes, we got back the string data type. Therefore, if you use only single quotes for text, then it is still represented as a string. But what we can do, we can also change the name up here. Let's change it to the correct spelling. And we run it. And then we run this. We no longer get the error. Alright, we can delete this for now. And one more example on text data types. Let's define a variable called middle initial is equal to G. Alright, run it, and let's look at the data type. It is still represented as a text or a string. Text strings in Python can be represented either using double quotes or single quotes. And additionally, the string data type covers whether single characters or several characters, for example this. So string is used to represent text data types in Python. There are also data types that allow you to store multiple items in a single variable. There are about 4 of them, if not more. They are lists, sets, tuples, and dictionaries. We're going to explore them in a little detail right here. But before I do, let me just, put a comment to show what we're talking about. That allow storing multiple items in a single variable. I'll show you what I mean, and let us start with lists. Lists store multiple items in a single variable. You can have different types of lists, a list of numbers, a list of text. For example, what if you want to store a list of fruits? You can store that as well. Let me show you with an example. Let's say let's define a variable called fruits, and we define it as a list. So we have apple, banana, Oh, my spelling is a little off today. Banana. There we go. Cherry. Orange. Lists are defined by using square brackets, as you can see here. Once you define it as a square bracket, it is now considered in Python as a list. Let us run this. If we print fruits, okay, we press this, we will see a list of fruits displayed here. That is what a list is for. Also, another one that is used to store multiple items in a single variable, they're called tuples. The difference with tuples is that you define them with regular brackets instead. Let us call our tuple vegetables. Carrot, lettuce. I was going to say tomato, but tomato is considered a fruit. Let's use another one. Cabbage. Okay. Run it. And if we print vegetables, it shows a list of vegetables. Now let us look at the data type of these variables. If we print fruits, or rather if we print type fruits, it is a list. And if we want to find out the type of variable the vegetables is, it's a tuple. Alright, let us do two more. Sets. Let's call our variable stationary. To define a set, you use curly brackets. Stationary could include pencil, ruler, notebook, eraser, pen. Run it. And if we print the set, there you have the list of items in that set. And if we want to find out the type, the type of variable it is, or rather the data type of this variable, type stationary, we can see that it is a set. Alright, and one more, they're called dictionaries. The last one we will look at for today are called dictionaries. Let us define one now. Let's call our dictionary car details. Oops. And you define a dictionary by also using a curly bracket. However, this time what is different, you're going to use what are called key value pairs. Basically, the key is what makes reference. How do I explain it? Let me type it out and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You have the brand, and we call it Ford. Okay. Model. Escape. And year. 2020. So the key in this case would be brand, and the value of that key would be Ford. So what it is saying here for this car details, the type of brand of that car is a Ford. The model is an Escape, while the year is a 2020. Alright, let us run this. Then we print car details. And you can see the details that we entered at the top here. But also, you can make reference to, you can get the value of a specific key. So let us say we want the brand of the car. We would simply say print car details, and in brackets we would put brand. And it shows you that it's a Ford. Similarly, if we say print car details, year, it shows the year. And finally, if we say print type car details, it's a dictionary. And there you have it. These are some of the common data types that are used in Python. You may encounter this as you create your programs, and you may find these very useful as you go on this journey of learning Python.
Well guys, that brings us to the end of our episode on Python data types. Let me know if this was useful to you, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below this video. Also, make sure you don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, especially if you have not subscribed as yet. And turn on that notification bell so you can know when the next video in this series drops. Thank you for joining me, and see you in another episode of Journey to Tech with Courage.